we are welcoming back Brockmire. Quite excited that he is here.
Thank you, David. Boy, that was a quick intro. Usually I'm used to Dan whining at me, that I'm drunk, which by the way, even for me, I'm a little more than usual today. And usually he whines at me about being drunk and not giving him a podcast. So you threw me there with that quick intro.
Well, Dan's not here today.
Well, great. Okay, always a pleasure to be back on the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. Where is Dan? Is he in the bathroom or something? Because I imagine at Dan's age and health level that his prostate is about the size of a compact European sedan. So, I'm guessing that his number ones probably take about as long as his number twos these days. Either way, he's definitely sitting down. So, yeah, Dan, take a load off. You deserve the rest. I can wait. He's not. But you're saying he's not there at all? Like he's like not in the studio?
He is nowhere in my view.
Well, what does that mean? You just lost track of him?
It's a narrow view.
Great. Okay. So you guys are a well-oiled machine there, huh? All right. So Dan's AWOL. Can I talk to Stugotz? But before I do, let me turn down the brightness here on my computer monitor, because I'd rather not witness the damage that a week of following the Grateful Dead around can do to a man's already sunken eyes and his gray skin tone. If Stugotz has gone full Gollum, I got to wear some kind of protective blindfold or something.
I am sorry to tell you that Stugotz, shockingly, is not here either.
Are you kidding me? Are you being serious? Stugotz is not there either? This is the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. And so there's no Dan Le Batard or Stugotz today. Great. I got what's your name again, sir? David Samson, as in Samson and Delilah? They threw you out there?
Never heard that one.
Well, what am I? Oh, excuse me. Was that just a little trite for you? I didn't come up with something clever enough. I'm just trying to get your name right because I don't know who the heck you are. I mean, I feel like I showed up to Yankee Stadium to watch a Little League game. Do the good people at DraftKings know about this? Do they know that they're paying good money for the JV squad to get in some reps here today? And I just thought of a better question. Why am I here if mom and dad are gone? Why am I being forced to sit at the kids' table with David, Samson, and Delilah?
I can actually assure you, Brockmire, that I am perfectly fine handling the show.
Okay, Dave. Excuse me. Yeah, point well taken, but I mean no disrespect now. But you can't handle sir, okay? Because I've seen clips, circulating online. And Mike Schur, what was that? Walking you around on a leash while you're begging him for his telephone number? Good God. And just to head you right off at the pass, no, can't have my number either. If I ever get curious about how you and your friends poison baseball in Florida so thoroughly that the Marlins can't even draw 8,000 people to watch a 400 hitter, I'll just look that up on your Wikipedia page, okay? Should be right under the controversy heading, right near the picture of Mike Schur bending you over his knee and spanking your what I imagine is your hairy ass until it's red. Good gosh, I'm sorry, David Samson. That might have come off a little disrespectful. But for me, it's not. That's just throat clearing. I have to get that stuff out of my system before I can really get going. So don't worry. I did not mean all of that. It was a little bit mean. I did mean most of it, but I didn't mean all of it. So anyway, I'm so glad I'm drinking today. What would you like to talk about, David?
That people know very well that my ass is not hairy.
What?
People know that well? What are you on? What do they call that? OnlyFans? What are you on OnlyFans with your buttocks?
NBA free agency David for Samson's me. That's buttocks. What we want to talk about. It's beginning Friday. Brockmire, what predictions?
I just need a neck brace for the transition there. So David Samson's butt to NBA free agency. Got it. Okay. What would you like to know about the NBA free agency, David Samson's buttocks?
I want to know who's going where.
Well, I only have one prediction. It's hard to say, right? That prediction is that Damian Lillard is not going to come to Miami, no matter how much everybody down there at the Meadowlark Media Studio might wish that he was. Aww. No, I'm sorry to be anti-Santa Claus or whatever, but the most likely scenario is that he just stays put. because Damon, the Trailblazers organization, have a Sid and Nancy level of codependence over there. The only way it appears they're going to abandon each other is through a player/organization murder/suicide. But if Lillard is traded, I believe he'll go to the Brooklyn Nets, because their offer of picks and players is far, far better for a rebuilding timeline than anything the Heat can offer. Now, I know what fans are saying down there, and I don't totally disagree with it, but what if Miami is Dame's preferred destination? What if that's where the guy wants to go? Well, to that, I would remind them that Lillard, unlike Bradley Beal, fascinatingly, does not get to choose his destination through a no-trade clause, which means that the only way he can come to Miami is through the altruism of the Portland owners, just the sheer charity by them at the expense of their own bottom line. Now, David Sampson's buttocks, I know about your belief in the good-hearted nature of the billionaire class. You've been very clear about that billionaires succeed because of their brilliant minds and their gentle souls. But personally, I never had a taste for blatant bootlicking, so my belief swings wildly in the opposite direction. So to settle this disagreement as objectively as possible, I want to be fair to you, okay? You and all the people on OnlyFans who just love your buttocks. Let's turn over to Google, okay? Let's look at Google here. Let's see who owns the Trailblazers. That's the first thing. I know that Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, used to own them. So let's see. Which new bootstrapped American genius is in charge of the team these days? Got it. His sister, Judy. And her top advisor is Paul Allen's college roommate. Boy, a Nepo sister and a Nepo dorm assignment. But listen, I am sure they are just a couple of gentle sweethearts. Nope. Hold up on that one, David's buttocks. Flag on the play. Because I'm reading an article of accusations of, and I'm quoting now, toxic workplace, harassment of bodyguards, amazingly, and wow, a refusal to speak with Damian Lillard or his camp. Now, who would have thunk it? Gee, I guess, wow, I got to take a minute, because I guess America isn't a meritocracy, and that maybe billionaires only care about the accumulation of assets and power at the expense of humanity. So no, I don't think Portland is just going to drop off Damian Lillard on Miami's doorstep holding out a nice bottle of wine out of the goodness of their hearts. I don't think that.
Well, if you don't think that, what other teams are you looking at this weekend?
Well, you're a good sport. I got to say that, David. I'm just ramrodding you, and you're just asking me polite questions. I got to admire your professional demeanor. I really do. And your haircut. You're looking good. What'd you ask me? What was it? I'm just so taken with you. What'd you say?
I am so distracted by your brilliance that I need to know what other teams should we be looking out for as NBA free agency starts this weekend.
Oh, all right. Sacramento. They seem poised to me to make a move, as many have pointed out. But because of all the contenders, they're the only team with huge amounts of cap space, right? Mm-hmm. But pardon me, Sazerac come back up on me. Excuse me. But much like insults about you, I have to get that out or I can't go on. And everything I'm reading, they keep mentioning, and I'm quoting this, a Sacramento tax. You heard about that? Which is like adding another 20% on top of a free agent's tab just to get them to want to move to Sacramento. I mean, that's got to be disheartening to those King fans living in Sacramento. I mean, sometimes it must feel like the entirety of NBA fandom is just laughing at them. And that's because they are, David. And that laughter is deafening. But, you know, at least the people of Sacktown can console themselves with the fact that they do not live in Oklahoma City. That's right. I'm circling back to that. There's no such thing as an OKC free agency tax because no NBA player would ever choose to go there of his own volition. The only way the Thunder can even field a team these days is to accumulate enough draft picks, thereby forcing teenagers, young men, into indentured servitude. A contract that can last up to 7 years. 7 years. 7 in OKC of driving 3-hour drive to Dallas just to have some fun. 7 years of pretending, oh, you know, that Indian restaurant, that wasn't that bad. You know, 7 years of convincing yourself, hey, this zoo is the best zoo in the state. No, thank you. Keep your millions of dollars. I'd much rather get the Sacramento tax. Again, I apologize to anybody in OKC catching these strays. I wish there was some way. I wish, you know what, Oklahoma people, I wish there was some way for you to control my constant shots. But unfortunately, Oklahoma is an open carry state, so I can just keep firing. I can just keep firing insults at you till I'm unafraid of living there, which will be exactly never.
Thank you, Brockmire. But
you're so welcome, David. Oh, David.
I don't know what else to say. I'm touched at your view of Oklahoma and of you thinking that that's what we should be watching.
It's a lot of basketball from Brockmire today, man.
There's so much baseball that
I love all sports, and I love David Sampson. I mean, I'm just very inspired today by David's there's like a Mad Men vibe coming off you, David.
Can I convince you to talk baseball at some point? Because there's a lot that's going on in that sport that is meaningful to me.
Of course, I know you're a baseball man, and as am I. And I'm excited. It's ostensibly why they bring me here to talk baseball. But now I'm obsessed with my own Mad Men observation. There's somebody in that cast you remind me of. It's definitely not Don Draper. I can't figure out which one of them are you. I think you're the guy who got the girl pregnant, and they totally dropped that storyline for reasons I don't understand.
Pete Campbell.
Yeah, Pete, thank you. Oh, is that nerdy Lord of the Rings lady?
I is she.
Ah, nice to hear from you again. So you watch all shows, not just nerd out over the sci-fi stuff.
I nerd out over Mad Men, too.
Yeah, well, me too. I'm right with you there. Got very good taste in there, surrounded by the freaks. Anyway, what we talk? Baseball. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
It's the best thing that we can talk to you about because of all of the storylines that revolve around Miami.
There are several. You know, I mentioned one, which is you ruining the whole deal down there. But first of all, the rules, the new rules, right? You'll agree, working with flying colors. I mean, we are not used to things getting better in America, but I'm telling you, with baseball, it's true this year. The games are consistently under 3 hours. They feature speed, just speed all over the field, which means we've reached soccer levels of entertainment now. I mean, we even have new rules for extra innings, which seem like random. But, just like the extra time in soccer, right? So you hear that, soccer? Baseball is now once again, America's third favorite sport. Number 3 with a bullet, baby. Bullet that will never, ever, ever come close to number 2. But still, a very exciting time. I mean, we had a perfect game last night. Only 24 of those out there, granted against the A's, so it's got to come with some kind of asterisk. But, things are getting exciting everywhere. Real athletes, real ones are playing the game again. These are not your daddy's John Crux spitting tobacco on carpets of green AstroTurf. I'm talking about honest-to-God physical freaks like Elly De La Cruz, 6'5" rookie shortstop, Cincinnati, already the fastest player in the game. He hits Oppo tacos as if they were pop flies. 21 years old. He has single-handedly lifted the Reds from the depths of the standings all the way to first place. And unlike in Miami, they're packing the stadium there for the first time in years. This kid is the greatest thing to happen to Cincinnati since they added spaghetti noodles to chili for some unbelievably horrific reason. But there is a better athlete in the game. We know who that is. Stop me if you heard it before, kids. Shohei Ohtani. My goodness, this week, 2 home runs he hit, struck out 10 guys in the same game. It's insane. Gotta get crazy talking about him. This should be what everybody in America is talking about. Not Trump waving around secret documents or not Biden sundowning. I mean, because this is something unprecedented. This is like something holy in an already sacred game. Networks should be interrupting regularly scheduled programming for every single at-bat of this guy. Cults should form. Praying to the back of Shohei Ohtani's baseball card. You know what, David? Maybe people compare him to Babe Ruth, right? To me, no comparison. Ohtani is far, far superior, right? You heard me right. I saw J.J. Redick bury Bob Cousy dead in the ditch. I'm going to do him one better. Babe Ruth, overrated.
Whoa.
Balloon man with hot dog scraps and gin filling him up, who took a running start at baseball practice fastballs in a segregated league. I mean, for his era, great pitcher and a great hitter, but he never did both at the same time, like Shohei Ohtani does every single week. Every week, Ohtani blesses us with a blah, blah, blah. I got to take it. I get a little worked up. Ohtani blesses us every week with a reinvention of the eternal. It's amazing.
And he's going to be a whole lot richer than Babe Ruth ever was in one season.
Amen. Amen.
All right, Brockmire.
I mean, how about that Tampa Bay's entire payroll isn't as much as what Verlander gets for a season? Is that right? It's about right. If that's not right, it's almost right.
It's close to right, but the real issue around these teams is they're spending a lot of money and they're not getting anything for it. The Mets, the Padres, and they look at the Reds or the Marlins and they say, you know what? We don't have to spend and waste all this money. They're going to see what they do with Ohtani. What else do you want to plug here before we got to go?
We'll see where Ohtani goes. It is going to be for a lot of money, and I think he will deliver wherever he goes. But plug, I got nothing else to plug. Nothing for me. No, I do remain upset with Dan for abandoning me. So I would like, you know what I'm going to plug? I'm going to plug Dan Le Batard's email address, which is, no, this is fine. Relax. It's Dan the Man Le Batard, that's all one word, at AOL.com. You heard that right. AOL.com. The man runs a startup, for Christ's sake, and he just pollutes the inboxes of his employees with that filth. I mean, you think a green bubble in the group chat is annoying. Just wait till you see Dan Le Batard barf up memories of the old 56K dial-up right into your inbox. Embarrassing.
You've got
horrible.
Mail.
Feel free to email Dan and tell him so. Dan the Man Le Batard at AOL.com. Let him know.
Thank you, Brockmire, for not giving out his cell phone, so this is not all of our last days in the studio.